Partially. I'll.
Andy, coming up Sunday, a first for me in more than 30 years. I'm going to be off to watch the Super Bowl.
Really? All the way
Yeah.
off?
Yes, because I'm being moved to Monday to Friday because I'm hosting the Ozone on WHO 13, which is live each night at 6:30. So my schedule is moving.
That makes sense.
And
we don't have sound off during the Olympics.
Right. And I have watched some Super Bowls. I've even worked ahead and watched most of some games at home, but have never had, in 30 years, haven't had a beer during the Super Bowl or had that feeling of just relaxing and eating and watching the game because we have to rush off somewhere.
It is going to be like sitting in first class in the plane for you. You're not going to want to go back to the other way. I've had a couple of Super Bowls in the last 5 years where I went down to Mexico with friends to a resort, and
that's right.
That's the best way to watch the Super Bowl, especially when you don't really care about the teams in it. That's the greatest way to watch the Super Bowl ever. And then at halftime, when the halftime show starts up, the whole place just starts dancing. I can only imagine what it's going to be like with Bad Bunny playing this year. I mean, it's going to be nuts. But so much fun to do it that way with a giant party and not have to worry about work. I was feeling pretty good because I am going to be able to at least go to the Super Bowl party for a little while this weekend because we don't have a 5 o'clock newscast. And we don't have sound off, so I don't have to write What's Bugging Andy. So I won't have an early, busy day. I can at least spend a little bit of time at the party before I have to head off to work and get ready for the 9 o'clock. But, man, you got it all the way off. That's the way to do it. But I'm telling you, you're not going to want to go back. It's going to be hard.
I know. And you've hosted a Super Bowl party before back when – you didn't work Sundays live. I remember you hosted a party, and I always think of your party when I think of.
Was that when I was? That's how far back it's been when I didn't have to do because I think we had the party, but you and I still had to go to work. I think that's the way it
maybe
went
you went to work. I don't know.
Yeah, because I didn't do a lot of Super Bowl parties when I was on that damn morning show.
Oh,
because
I know.
I couldn't. I think most of the years, or a couple of the years, I didn't even see the end of the game because it would get dragged on so late. I had to go to bed or I was falling asleep. That's how bad it was.
It must be nice having a job where you just sit around and watch games all day. It's not actually like that.
No, it's not.
But I think of your party, back to your Super Bowl party for just a moment. I think of it as the example of all the different groups that gather at a party, because there were the people who did not care at all about the game. There were the people who only cared about the commercials. There were the hardcore football people, and we had a couple of people that just kept talking over the announcers and by the TV, and you couldn't really hear the game. It was almost enough to make me think I'd rather watch this by myself.
I think we had one person that was like a hybrid of all that stuff who actually stood up in front of the game and then talked.
I think I know who that is.
At us, asking questions and stuff. And then during the commercials, shut up and got out of the way. It was like
makes no sense.
It was like a Super Bowl party assassin that was sent in there on an errand.
Well, it's a Murph and Andy party on a Friday. Fun Friday. Let's get it going.
Get ready. Blues Traveler and Jen Blossoms. Plus special guests, Spin Doctors. September 10th, Lordson Amphitheater at Waterworks Park. Blues Traveler, Jen Blossoms. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster. Blues Traveler and Jen Blossoms. Presented by the Willis Summer Series.
So Blues Traveler gets the headline
Yeah.
act there, huh?
Yeah, I think they get the headline there, yeah.
All right.
With 5 Central Iowa locations, there's always a Heartland Tire and Auto nearby to take care of everything your car needs. From oil changes to complete transmission overhauls, they do it all. For 15 years now, Heartland Tire and Auto has been a proud sponsor of Murph and Andy.
They have Cade's picture on the wall now. They finally put it up. Yeah. Let's party.
Attention all campers.
Keith Murphy.
What I do have are a very particular set of skills. Skills I've acquired over a very long career.
Andy Fales.
I'm telling you straight, it's my way or the highway.
Powered by AD.
Just a bit outside.
Murph and Andy. Live and on demand across Iowa everywhere from the Channel Seed Studios. Murph and Andy. Connected by cellular advantage.
The weekend is here, and it's going to be 60 degrees Monday, according to Ed. So that almost feels like an extra day to the weekend. Just having a Monday to look forward to.
Yeah, we've been talking about it all week.
Yeah.
I'm still looking forward to the weekend more
Me
than
too.
Monday. But that does help, right? I mean,
Yeah, it
getting
does.
going on a Monday, yeah, when it's 60 degrees, that sounds great.
Much better than a Monday ice storm. Table setter from Guest House Tavern and Oyster. Roger, Seahawk Certainty, and Pea-Free Hands. All part of sports and more on a Friday. Guest House Tavern and Oyster in West Des Moines with the nightly specials, great seafood, and one of the best places in town to just settle down and talk with friends or family. Now, high or low since the last show.
Presented by Wealth Charter Retirement Planning and Tax.
Wealth Charter Retirement Planning and Tax asks you one question. Is your money working as hard as it can for you? Do you know the answer to that question? If you're not certain or you just have no idea, you can reach out to them at wealthcharterretirement.com. They'll look at your stuff. They will tell you whether it is or not. And if it's not, they will do all that they can, which is a lot, to make sure that it is working as hard as it can for you. I'm going high here on a Friday because after the show, among other errands, I'm going to the liquor store.
Really?
Yeah.
And
That
you think
always
you need
makes
to publicly declare that?
Yeah,
or-
yeah. I'm just
Yeah?
telling you that always makes me happy. It's like going to the fireworks store for me. You know, I mean, I like to go. It's such a good feeling that it's such a universal good feeling. I think that bands have written songs about it, and I'm bringing the receipts here. Here's a group of guys I know from St. Louis, The Urge, singing about it.
We're going to the liquor store. We're going to the liquor store.
That's it. I mean, it's
not
got
real
all
deep lyrics.
Well, I mean, there are verses and everything where they talk about, how it's Friday and they're excited about the liquor store. I think they wrote that song in high school, but it became a live favorite. Kyle is asking me which liquor store I'm going to, and yeah, I'm going to Central City. They are not sponsors of the show, but I like going to that liquor store. It's not a looker from the outside, but when you go in, and I like to go in now because Dana May is there. That's Dana May on the left. She is a friend and high school classmate of our friend, Courtney Maxwell Green. And
I think she's wearing a Rush T-shirt.
what does it say? It's 25?
Is that saying
I
the
think
Rush?
I think it is the Travis and Ross's.
Oh no, I didn't notice
Shout
that.
out
I
Travis
can't,
and Ross.
what are we doing? All right. Well, anyway, I can't
we
say
all come from the same school.
Yeah.
Hey, see, man, this is we plug everybody. I like going there though. I was using that picture because it's a good liquor store and they have everything there. And it's like,
do they still give you the tokens back, Andy?
The wooden token, they've stopped that, but I have like so many of those. I don't know what to do with them now. I got to try to turn those in. But I like going in there because Dana, who works there, just has the best personality, and she deals with so much bullshit. I mean, she deals with more bullshit than like a cattle farmer does, really, because can you imagine? At the liquor store, the walks of life, the wide range of humanity that is constantly coming in through that door.
Yeah, especially at that location.
Yeah,
I mean, you can come from easily from any direction.
Oh yeah, and there are people that they walk in, people like turning in their cans and stuff, and she is like, I could never do that, right? I mean, I don't think there's no way I couldn't last a day. Most people couldn't.
No, you'd be annoyed within a week.
Oh my God! I mean, I would jump over the counter and grab somebody by the throat. But Dana has like this amazing way of like diffusing every situation. Like somebody will come in there like, they're just shit hammered drunk, right? And she has a way of like dealing with them. You know, she'll deal with them. She's nice to them, and she just has like this hypnotic kind of demeanor where she's a city treasure, really. So, but anyway, I like going down there, and because it's like going to the DMV, only it's way more fun. You just get this.
It's got to be more fun than the DMV.
It's way more fun. That's a bad comparison, but I mean, you like the people watching is second to none. What's another place that's fun? What's a place that's fun to go, and part of the reason is the people watching? Like
State Fair?
It's like the fair. Yeah, it's kind of like the fair.
Airport to some degree.
Walmart.
Yeah, Walmart.
Walmart.
I don't ever feel
Windsor Heights Walmart.
good. It's better than
can
the
be
Windsor Heights
fun.
Walmart. No, I never look forward to going to the Windsor Heights Walmart. I look forward to going to Central City Liquors because you go in like from the moment you come in from the parking lot. It's one of those places where I do lock the door. Even though I'm just going inside, and I've never had a problem, but I just do. But I go in and I'm like, oh man, look at that. And they've got everything. They've got like a million different kinds of bitters and cocktail garnishes and just like like everything. If you like to bartend, it's just, it's heaven. It's really, it's like a kind of a ruffian heaven, right? Like if you got there and you were like, this is it? This is heaven? Really?
Yeah.
But you walk in, you're like, oh, okay, I get it. Yeah, it's you got to go inside, book by the cover type thing. Anyway, did you have questions about the liquor
I had a
store?
question for AD when you talked about the liquor store being heaven, because it does bring to mind. So, Andrew, as a Hawkeye fan, the deal is when you get to heaven, there's no beer? That's why you drink it here? How is that
I don't
a
think
reward
that's ever
for
been verified.
It hasn't been verified, but how do you see that as a reward for a life well lived?
Heaven's not real, Murph.
Oh, jeez.
So
Well, no, I mean a real physical place. I believe that, but it absolutely
you don't have to. You don't have to drink beer to feel drunk in heaven. If you want to be drunk, you snap your fingers and you're drunk.
Just whatever it's at your command.
And if
whatever you want.
If you want,
hey,
beer,
give me a little mild buzz.
Yeah, but there's a heaven in my head, right? And you know, there are people
Yeah.
like my dad is there, and he's absolutely got a beer. So I think that's very real. He's absolutely he's got a cold draw of Bud Light is what he used to like to get. He got one of those like whenever he wants.
That has always confused me a little bit. I think it's just an excuse to drink more here. You're like, hey, we're drinking for
it's a rhyme.
People in heaven.
Yeah, in heaven there is no beer. That's why we drink it here.
Apparently,
is that how it goes?
That is how it goes.
Yeah, that's how it goes. I was raised Catholic, so I have that worry about purgatory, where it's like, okay,
Stuck in the middle.
You have to sit here for a while because, we
The
think
jury's out.
we think you're a pretty good dad and you did some nice things. You get some credit there, but you were also part of that fire extinguisher release on Pontoon Island where that nice family with kids was just trying to have a night in the woods, and you and your buddies went over there with a fire extinguisher and
See, I don't
right in
think
the
that
screen.
there's no way that's ahead of Andy's wedding night in the line.
Yeah.
Well, okay, I'm saying there are going to be multiple infractions. I mean, I've done some stupid stuff. So I'm not just being, waved in. Like it's going to be like, okay, yeah, no, you're in the right place. We didn't send you straight down, but we're not sending you straight up.
How
either.
long
We
do you
gotta
have to
talk
wait?
about some of
What's
this.
the conversion chart there?
Well, I think it depends on the life you've lived. Now, if you can count the second half of my life, I'm going to do much better. But if you count the first half of my life, I have some real teens and 20s idiocies.
Well, that wedding night strike is in the second.
That is well beyond that period. Yeah, I'm not saying it's
balance the
perfect
load
in
a
the
little
second
bit.
half. Yeah, I know. And also, as kind of like a metaphor, when you walked in the room, it felt a little like hell.
When I walked in the room, you mean?
Yes, when you walked in the room, it felt a little like hell.
It did.
About the same temperature.
because I had to clean all of that up.
Yeah. I'm sorry about that, if I haven't ever said that. I'm going to go high here, and it's since the last show, so it's going back a couple of nights, but I'm so glad that we went to William Penn for the toilet paper game. I like silly traditions like this, and just got so much feedback on this. John Sears was up there, and it led to so many questions. I think it's the most engagement I had this week, just people asking questions, a few people saying how stupid it is, some other schools claiming they did it first. Mm-hmm. It's been going on since 1982, and it started with Central, but they've changed conferences now, so now it's against rival Grandview. Also, Andy, it's kind of interesting in this, as you know from working that night, they had won 12 home games in a row, and they'd won 9 games in a row.
This is kind of the kicker here, too.
Yeah, so William Penn is
quite
good.
A tag. Yeah.
They're having a good season. And when you do this, after the first point scored by William Penn, it's a technical foul. So Grandview gets one shot. Grandview made the one shot, and Grandview won by 1 point. Ended the 12-game home winning streak. Now, you don't know from the butterfly effect how it goes, but you'd like to have that point.
Well, but I mean, the problem is that you have those direct comparisons there. You have okay, we would have been here, but because of this, we were here, and I mean, you can just do the math very easily. It was worth 1 point. We lost by 1 point.
Right.
But I mean, it gets kids into that gym for a basketball game. And I can imagine that they have a hard time. I can't imagine that's something that they do. I don't think they have a crowd like that for most games. I'm going to go out on a limb here.
Yeah, I think that's true. And now it's a whole thing with, T-shirts. And let's hear from William Penn head coach John Henry and his son, Cole Henry, former Panther.
It is unique, and it's been replicated. I won't name the schools that have tried to steal it recently, but we've been doing it for just about 50 years, and it's the annual, and it's not something that we just created. It's been going on for a long time, and it's just a great atmosphere, and the players love it, the fans love it, and our school loves it. I remember the days when we used to sneak the toilet paper in. Now we broadcast. There's pictures of it out there. It's everywhere. It's on T-shirts. It used to be like an underground thing, and now it's publicized.
One day out of the year, you've got this game that doesn't happen anywhere else in the world, where the first basket we score, we throw toilet paper on the court. The concept sounds crazy. It sounds dumb, but then you come and experience it for the first time or the 15th time, and it never changes. It's magic every single time.
Magic?
It's a lot of toilet paper.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. I mean, those are fun traditions, and small
I think
schools
it's
should
fun.
have fun traditions like that. All colleges should have crazy traditions like that. I mean, Drake fans at the Knapp Center standing up until the Bulldogs score,
which took a long time back in the day.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes those old people are standing up for a long time. That's happened.
Yeah,
I mean, it's fun to have something that's yours, that you do, whether you started it or not. I don't know if that matters, but I mean, you have to. Traditions not all traditions make sense. They always have a little bit of history. It's always something. I always kind of get a chuckle out of the schools that really try to force a tradition, and then they're real quick to call it a tradition or classic.
Like the Heroes Trophy?
Or annual. Yeah, like the Heroes Trophy. That's a really good example. Good pull. But like you have to wait. How long do you have to wait before you can call something a tradition? 10 years? I think it's like 10 years.
It seems that way. And the best traditions are always organic. They came about because of some happening. They weren't drawn up in a boardroom by a focus group of like, okay, how can we make this a tradition? Just something happened. It was the catalyst. It was usually a long time ago, and then it carries on. And a tradition like this, it has its critics or people, I could see in the comments, this is really wasteful. I
hope they use some of that TP, because some of that looked like the good 2-ply.
Some of it didn't really unravel either.
Oh yeah,
yeah. This was
TP.
Some of this was not that. That sandpaper, the work toilet paper,
the stuff where you got take half the roll and it gives you like a wad, like golf ball size. Yeah.
Does anybody want 1-ply toilet paper?
No.
No,
they don't.
2-ply should be the minimum. That should be the minimum. Let's catch the buzz here on a Friday.
The Buzz. Brought to you by Logier Heating and Cooling.
Logier Heating and Cooling, providing heating and cooling solutions to Des Moines area families for 120 years. If you need some furnace work, this probably is a good time to schedule it, because we have a warming trend here for the next few days.
Yeah.
Peaking. It says it's 60.
Early next week, you can get some stuff done. Give Logier a call, and they'll be all over it.
Davenport's Roger Craig finally makes the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Now, Andy, this guy he's from our era. Davenport Central star. Then he goes to Nebraska, where he's a star. And then most famously with the 49ers, 3 Super Bowls, 3 Super Bowl wins. First man to rush for 1,000 yards and receive 1,000 yards in the same season. He's got more than 13,000 total yards and 73 touchdowns. That's just the regular season. He did well in the postseason, too. He's one of these guys that probably points out the flaw in the system, that it took this long to get Roger Craig in the Hall. He's a Hall of Famer.
Well, he was one of those guys who didn't have the black ink, as they call it, right? I mean, he didn't have an incredible career total of rushing yards.
Didn't have an MVP award or something like that.
Didn't have an MVP. I mean, certainly he had the 3 Super Bowls. You pointed that out. And then he had the one distinction that is still as impressive as it was then. I mean, he was the first running back to ever have 1,000 yards rushing and 1,000 yards receiving. And a reminder, that was a 16-game season.
Right. Was it 16 or was it
16.
14 back
then?
then?
It was 16. Yeah,
it was a shorter season.
Yeah. And I mean, the thing that's always counted against him was that he was part of that West Coast offense, Bill Walsh's genius offense with Joe Montana and so many other weapons. But he was one of a kind. I mean, I remember him very well. He was a really distinctive runner with this high stepping run where his knees came way up. And he was a beautiful runner to watch. I mean, he really was. He was like a work of art. And then he was, I'm trying to think. I feel like he was one of the first great running backs in a passing game. Later on, you had guys like Keith Byers that were also very good. About who was the former Hawkeye that was a really good receiver too. Ronnie Harmon was a real good receiver too, wasn't he? So, but Roger Craig was the best for a relatively short period of time. I mean, he was a little bit like today's tight ends, right? Where he was such an integral part of that passing game that I'm sure it gave defensive coordinators fits to have to plan for him. But
it kind of changed the position where the expectation became more than just running.
You wonder, people would wonder why Joe Montana was able to get rid of the ball so quickly. And one of the big reasons was Roger Craig was open so quickly out of the backfield, and he just knew he was going to him. And then once he got the ball, I mean, that was the thing, right? I mean, if you got a running back, the ball in midfield or in the middle of the field, man, those defenses are in trouble because those guys are bigger, they're faster, they run better with the ball than the receivers did, or certainly the tight ends did. So he really could make those defenses pay once he did catch the ball. So, and there were a lot of, the Marshall Falks of the world were great at that too later on. But Roger Craig was the first. But he was also, you mentioned a guy of the era. He was in that era that many of us grew up in, where great players from Iowa went to Nebraska.
Right.
And that probably drove, Trev Alberts, who are some of the other ones I'm thinking of. There were others that were,
they were king.
Great players in Iowa,
they were the brand.
Or in Missouri, where in St. Louis, where I grew up.
Yeah,
you
understand it.
Yeah, the home schools didn't have a chance because Tom Osborne would come in and snake those guys. So he's a throwback to a number of eras, and that's one of them. And I don't think fans around here are upset to see that part go.
No, and I said a few days ago when the expectation was that Craig was getting in, and some of it was even leaked, and it was his final chance. He did get in, and that was officially confirmed last night. But I said when this becomes official, Roger Craig will become the second native Iowan in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. But I was checked down on that. He was actually born in Mississippi, and I had to look into it because there are multiple sites that list him as born in Davenport or being from Davenport, and he's always considered Davenport his home, his hometown, but he was actually born in Mississippi. So technically, Kurt Warner remains the only person born in Iowa. It's just like Fred Hoiberg was born in Lincoln, Nebraska. Do you consider to be a native Iowan or a native Missourian or wherever you're from, do you have to be born there? That's the way I think of it.
A native, yeah, I would say a native. That's kind of a strong word, though. But I think of Roger Craig as, look, it doesn't take too much for us here in Iowa, right, to plant our flag on the dude.
Think of him as an Iowan for sure.
Yeah, I'm sure Mississippi is probably markets down there they're talking about him a little bit too. But we remember him in high school here. His formative years were here in Iowa. Didn't go to college here, but his formative years are here in Iowa. So, and that's kind of what counts. So, yeah, I guess I consider him an Iowan.
A quickie poll from WCI Pools and Spas in Ames and Urbandale.
Do you have to be born in Iowa to be an Iowan? Yes or no?
I would say no, but 27% of people right now are saying yes. It's an interesting question. Like I've lived in Iowa far longer than I lived anywhere else. But I was born in Vermont and went to high school in Florida and then college in Georgia. So I'm kind of a guy without a home, I guess. I don't know. This feels like home to me. Iowan by choice, as Doug Sawyer says. I don't know. What do each of you think on this? I don't think you have to be born here to be an Iowan.
No, I don't think so. If you just spent a few years as a really little kid here and then you moved away.
Like Joe Burrow isn't an Iowan.
Yeah. Where are your formative years? Like your memories, your most, it's like where you grew up and you made all your best friends. But I don't think of myself as an Iowan. I have been in Iowa longer than I was in Missouri now. But I was 18 when I went off to college, and then I moved back for a few years. So I think of myself. It's weird, though. I don't really think of myself as a Missourian. I think of myself as a St. Louisan.
But what about you put 10 more years? Because to me, like, kids change the way I feel about this. Or, they're all born in Iowa, and I've been here for almost 40 years now. It's by far, I mean, I feel like this is my home and that I'm an Iowan, but
I
could
don't
see
take
somebody
my
saying,
shoes
"Oh no,
off
you're not."
automatically when I go inside the door. I think that's part of it. There are things, I'm not saying anything is better than another, but there are just some things that I think part of my sports fandom shows that I'm not an Iowan. Just
it
kind
is
of
so often geographical.
Yeah, and just really kind of coming in here. St. Louis is one of the worst college sports towns in America. I came in and didn't care about college sports, right? I just didn't. I mean, the basketball tournament, it was fun, but that was not something that was in my blood. I think if you're an Iowan, it's absolutely in your blood. I mean, if the Iowan equivalent of me would have been, obsessed with the Hawkeyes and Cyclones. But that didn't come to me until later. And now I'm to the point where I may actually prefer it to pro sports, but that's just, I don't know. There are those tiny little details I think that matter.
Well, AD, you consider yourself Wisconsin, right? Wisconsinite?
Why would I consider myself? I lived there for 3 years. And it wasn't that's not where I was born. I was born
just
in
the
Iowa.
Experience. All right. Also into the Hall of Fame. Drew Brees.
Now you're going to purgatory, Murph.
Larry Fitzgerald, Adam Vinatieri, Luke Kuechly. No Bill Belichick, no Robert Kraft. They do need to look at the voting process here. I am kind of glad that Kraft didn't make it. A lot of people thought he was going to make it. He certainly belongs in the Hall of Fame, but if the coach of the 6 Super Bowl championships isn't going to be in, I don't think the owner should be in. I mean, I put a coach way ahead of an owner in the importance of the game. Do you?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
The owner, that guy can flat out own. Yeah, I mean, he
it does matter.
Clearly did a lot for that.
I mean, look at the Jets organization. It matters. And Kraft under his ownership, they're right back in the Super Bowl with no Brady and no Belichick. So he's a Hall of Famer. But if Belichick's not in,
owners can be in the Hall of Fame, which we've established
they are,
that they can, then Robert Kraft could be in there. I don't know. He's kind of slimy.
What about? Does this mean Tom Brady?
In fact, he's really slimy. I think he's really slimy. I think
does Tom Brady have to worry about? I'm sure he. I would think he's a unanimous first ballot Hall of Famer, but the way the process is drawn up, yeah. I mean, Belichick didn't get in, Kraft didn't get in.
Absolutely. I mean, Tom Brady is the Hall of Fame. I mean, he's absolutely in. Bill Belichick didn't get in for 2 reasons. He took a nosedive after his Patriots and crash landed. I mean, he made Stephen Leith, look like Sully, right? I mean, he
that is a great line.
He took that plane straight into the
like
ground.
Sully.
There was a huge explosion. It burned all the vegetation. I mean, there were no survivors. It was really ugly. And it's still going on. And the fact that, I mean,
he won in Tampa.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Brady went and immediately won in Tampa, which is a huge feather in Brady's cap. But I think it also takes one out of Belichick's hand. And people didn't like him anyway. He just wasn't a likable guy. And I don't think Brady's ever had that reputation.
He's annoyed some Patriots fans this week.
Oh,
but
man.
He'll recover. Sonny Jorgensen, dead at 91. You have to be older. This might be on the edge of Andy's childhood watching football. I do remember Sonny Jorgensen, and I remember him not only as a good quarterback, but for that really dated single bar face mask.
Yeah, he predates me, but when I used to go, one of my activities with my dad, this is totally my dad, was going to the Webster Groves Public Library on weeknights. And we would go, and my dad would just, we would come in the door, and he would just let me just go. And I would go over to the sports book section as I got older. And one of the books, and then he would go off in his section, and then I would sit and read for, I feel like we were there for like 3 hours. It was there forever. And I have to like go find him, like go dig him out of the stacks, like way in the back.
We need more of this.
Yeah. So one of the books that I found was, it was called I'll Always Get Up by a Redskins running back in the 70s named Larry Brown. Do you remember him?
I do.
Okay. He was the good running back with those Redskins teams that would go to the Super Bowl and lose, right? I mean, didn't they lose all those games, as I recall?
I don't know about all of them, but they certainly lost some games, yeah.
I don't remember who they would have beaten. They lost to the Dolphins, it seemed like. Maybe they beat they were one of the teams that beat the Vikings. That's probably what it was. I don't recall.
Well, no, because they'd be in the same conference.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, what am I talking about? So they would have I feel like they lost. But anyway, they lost when he was there. So
it
was
the
like
snot out of the Broncos. Remember that? They scored like 35 points in one quarter against John Elway. That was Doug Williams and crew. That was probably the 80s.
That was the 80s, yeah. That was.
They did beat the Dolphins in '83 also.
They beat, yes, in '83. This is all way past Larry Brown. So, John Riggins and company and Joe Theismann beat the Dolphins in '83. And then Mark Rippon and company beat the Bills. And Doug Williams and company beat the Broncos, with Timmy Smith. Remember that guy? You never heard of him before, never heard of him since.
Was he MVP?
He had 200-something yards rushing. Does that still stand as the rushing title? Anyway, Timmy Smith was like incredible for one day. It just happened to be the day. But anyway, I would read this book about Larry Brown, and I remember bringing it to my dad, and he was just like, you're reading about the 70s Redskins? What? Why? And I was like, well, it was one of the books that was there. And he was like, oh, okay. And then he would like, well, Sonny Jurgensen. And he would tell you about Billy Kilmer and the other. He would,
Billy Kilmer.
And then I would have this little conversation with my dad about football, which is kind of nice. But I remember him talking about Sonny Jurgensen, but that just seemed like, with the single bar. And I think he even like wore, because the Redskins went through like this weird evolution of football helmets before they settled on like somehow the most offensive one. But they had just the arrow that kind of looked like Florida State's. Remember that one? And then they had the one with just the R that was yellow, which nobody likes the yellow helmet, I guess. But
the arrow was cool.
Yeah, but I don't think I've ever seen that in color. Have you? I think it's always in black and white. Anyway, that was a really long story that really wasn't worth telling. But Larry Brown, Sonny Jurgensen. I do remember Sonny Jurgensen.
So he said Sonny would have a beer and smoke between plays. That is another era, like Len Dawson smoking that cigarette in the locker room of the Super Bowl.
I remember asking Len about that.
Shoes.
Yeah, that's such a funny picture. He was
Lenny the Cool.
I like Fresca.
Age 38, Matthew Stafford wins his first MVP. Had a really cool speech with all his daughters up on stage. 4 of his daughters joined him on stage. He beat Drake May, the Patriots quarterback, by 1 vote. So it was a very close vote as expected, but it is Stafford. And his stats are just crazy. So this secures him as a first ballot Hall of Famer. I mean, he's got a Super Bowl ring. He's got an MVP now. He's got these stats out of this world, and seems like a good guy. I don't know him, but he seems like a good guy. So good for Matthew Stafford. Drake May will have another shot.
It is kind of a cool story. I mean, he was the number 1 pick overall. He was stuck in Detroit with some really bad teams. So he had Megatron, right? I mean, that was nice.
But he retired so early.
Yeah, but then he gets traded, and it just kind of it seemed like he was going to kind of go down as a bust just because he wasn't in the right place at the right time. But then
big stats, but didn't win enough.
Yeah, gets in there with Sean McVay and just a good organization. I mean, the Rams organization is a good one.
Yeah.
It's been cool to see him kind of rally late.
They had the Hall of Fame honors show. That's when all this was announced last night. And boy, I'm surprised.
I liked watching
celebrities.
It. Yeah.
I'm surprised they take this gig though. That's a tough crowd. Like John Hamm was up there trying. Bob Odenkirk did they had some comedians that came by, but it's just a tough crowd. It's like they're not there to laugh.
The athletes and stuff.
Yeah, the athletes. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't mean the people at home, but God, I know
Yeah.
that's why Letterman just did it one year. He's like, that's not, it's hard to not feel like nothing's landing because the crowd is not giving it back to you. That's what made Norm Macdonald so good on the ESPYs, because he didn't care that they were quiet and offended. That's why he enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But John Hamm was he was struggling at times, but he's not a stand-up comic either. He's just a really likable personality, good actor.
Yeah, it's not an audience of entertainers who kind of are on that level mentally. It's a bunch of athletes who know. I don't know what their sense of humor or their appreciation for art and performance is on stage. I mean, I
don't either.
It would just be it would be a hard crowd, but I mean, I liked seeing it. I think it's fun to see all the older athletes get up there and get honors that they deserve, and a
lot of them limping.
Yeah, but you can see sometimes when they flash into the crowd, the recognition in the faces of the people that are watching of like some of their childhood heroes, or guys that they idolized in college or maybe even played with before. They're just, they really have a lot of respect in their faces.
The Seahawks are the first team in the betting era to receive more than 70% of the spread bets, meaning the Seahawks are 4.5-point favorites, and 70% of the people betting are betting for them to win by more than 4.5. So that's, maybe that line is going to move before the game, but most people think it's too low for this game. I think it's too low too. They're a strong favorite.
It harkens back to what, 2002 though, right? When Kurt Warner and the Greatest Show on Turf went up, and nobody thought there was a chance they'd lose that game against the Patriots, and they did.
And then it happened to the Patriots when they were undefeated and playing the Giants as double-digit underdogs, and the Giants won that. The opening ceremony in Italy is going on, right now, because they're 6 hours ahead of us in Milan. But 4 sites. There'll be 2 cauldrons. This will be in prime time tonight. It'll start 7 at your NBC affiliate, WHO 13 for most of you. But that's probably, unless you have to watch it live, you probably want to wait for prime time where they make some editing decisions and get it down a little bit instead of watching for like 5 hours of opening ceremony. But that goes on tonight. Lindsey Vonn made a training run today, Andy, and she did okay. She tore ACL a week ago.
Well, that's good for American viewership because I can't name a single other skier.
Michaela Schifrin, you know her. She's one.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. But see,
you know
I wouldn't have come up with that on my own. I recognize it, but I don't know her. I haven't thought of her since the last Olympics. The Winter Olympics can be a real tough sell. You're talking about, I think with the exception of hockey, maybe a little bit of figure skating leading up to the Olympics. I mean, these are sports that we don't, for the most part, don't even know are going on the rest of the time.
Every 4 years for most of these sports. We do have a local guy, Zach Stoppelmore from Valley. He has a shot at a medal in speed skating. We'll see how it goes. It looks like the Winter Olympics for the first time. In the past, you forget this because it was 2022, but they still had all the COVID testing and restrictions in place for the previous Winter Olympics, and then the Summer Olympics before that, and that just sucked. The audience went like this over the 2.5 weeks of the Olympics because, no crowds, no families, no excitement.
And also what really has an effect is where they're located. I mean, if they're in the Far East or in Australia, not that the Winter Olympics are there, but
right.
If the Olympics are way far away from the United States, it just doesn't. It just makes it really difficult. This is not close. It's 6 hours away, but it's still like on this side of the date line, and it seems like it's in a place that where when they originally came up with the idea for the Winter Olympics, they were, maybe they were somewhere close to Milan and Cortina, where they're like, we should have Winter Olympics. And they're like, okay, yeah, and it makes sense. And you don't have to like convince yourself that part of the world could host those games.
Yeah, but, unlike I think Russia was the worst. The average temperature was 50 degrees.
Beijing was bad.
Yeah, you hear Russia and you think of Rocky training on a snowy mountain, but this was like in the beach resort part of Russia, and Putin wanted it there, so they 100% manufactured snow. They had no snow. And the past two Olympics, also South Korea and China, both had to manufacture almost all the snow. If you've been watching Justin Cernsey, they're not going to have to manufacture any snow in Italy. Where is he? Cortina?
Cortina, yeah. He told me yesterday, he was like, no, it finally stopped snowing, and I'm glad, because it just got, it's pretty, it makes a good backdrop, but dealing with lots of snow and walking through it and trying to drive through it, it is a pain, and you're trying to set up tripods and stuff and that kind of stuff. I mean, it's, you can't set your gear down anywhere because there's snow everywhere. Those mountain towns, I mean, yeah, they just get inundated. It's like that heavy, wet snow that's really difficult to move. And so he was glad that it had finally stopped snowing, but it sure does make pretty pictures. I mean, it really looks cool. And when he goes out into the town, like Cortina is like Aspen.
It looks high end,
maybe even higher end than Aspen.
The shops he was showing, those are shops where anytime Jenny and I have gone into shops like that, it's basically just to enjoy the sticker shock. Like this shirt is $950.
Yeah. Prada,
purse is $6,000.
Versace, Gucci, which are Italian brands, and then they've got, it's right by Switzerland, so there's a Rolex store and probably an Omega store, and a Patek Philippe store, and then there's Chanel, and it's like it's all the highest end brands that you could possibly think of, and they're in this little town that's got 5,200 people in it normally. But during ski season, it can swell to like 60,000 people. So it does make sense for them to have the Olympics there. They can handle that kind of capacity.
Yeah, Tenga, 17 points out. Nate Heisey's sister is on the USA women's hockey team. Justin Cernsey did a story on her and with her. So, we're aware of that. And when you see her, you'll be like, oh, yeah, that's Nate Heisey's sister. I mean, they look, like the male and female versions of the same person. The Iowa women have a problem now. They've lost 3 straight after a 9-0 start in the Big Ten Conference. Best start in 30 years. They've lost 3 in a row, and all 3 have been since Taylor McCabe went out with that knee injury. I don't think most people thought that was going to be that big a problem, but Jan Jensen keeps saying they really miss her leadership. Minnesota, this is a big win for Minnesota at Carver Hawkeye Arena. First top 10 road win in 23 years. So
I was really surprised by that. And, whether they've got Taylor McCabe or not, I mean, they still have a really good, deep team there, and they've got Carver Hawkeye Arena full. So, and a Minnesota team with an inferior record coming in there, I didn't think there's any way they're going to lose that game.
I didn't think they'd lose either. They had been undefeated at home. Now they got to get out of this. The defense was bad. This is one of those nights where you see fans go, Minnesota hit 71% of its threes. I mean, they made 10 threes. They were just having a hot shooting night. Well, there's a reason when a team is that hot. It usually means you're playing bad defense. And then in the postgame, Jan Jensen said that. She was like, the effort wasn't there. The defense wasn't there. And after losing 2 in the West Coast, I really thought they would step up. Now they're going to fall way out of the top 10. And now the worry, AD, and I know you had buckets on last night. Now the worry becomes falling out of hosting the NCAA tournament, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And, we talked about this last night. The emotions of a college basketball season where you have a couple of games a week and you win and you're riding high and everything's great, and then you lose
right.
and it's like, oh, everything is terrible and they're never going to figure this out again. And we've seen from the Iowa State women that you can have a losing streak and then kind of figure things back out. So I trust that Jan Jensen and this team will figure it out. It's a really young team. And as you said, Taylor McCabe's loss is more of the veteran presence than her three-point shooting or her defense on the floor. So they're gonna have to get this figured out because that hosting those top 4 seeds, which I didn't check bracketology today. Before yesterday's game, they were a 3 seed. Jake and I were thinking that loss probably dropped them to a 4. So now you're starting to kind of play with fire, and you don't have much wiggle room. You got to start winning some of these games.
You need to be top 4, correct?
Yes, yeah, top 4 seeds host.
The Iowa men, on the other hand, 5 straight wins, about to be 6 because they host Northwestern. And Iowa is now at 17 wins on the season, which equals last year. So already you can see why this coaching change was made.
Yeah, right. I mean, this season has been a resounding success. I mean, no matter what, and watching them move the ball around against Washington last night. I mean, that just you got to love seeing that. I mean, whether they win the game or not, and of course they did win. But I mean, this team is. I think everybody's kind of quick to say, well, no, it's just the first year of Ben McCollum. We can't expect too much. They may not go to the tournament. We're going to be okay. To like you watch this, and you're like, no, wait a minute, man. We ain't done yet. We could still absolutely not just go to the tournament, but do some damage in the tournament. I mean, this team is the same. It's Drake's team, but they're learning the Big Ten clearly on the fly, and they're figuring it out.
And Ben McCollum, I think, sends the right message to his team, which is like Iowa just went out there, won 2 games on the West Coast. Now these aren't great teams, Oregon and Washington. Washington's better than Oregon.
They were teams that you would see McCaffrey's teams lose to.
Sure. And McCollum was like, we're not talking about travel or time zone changes or the game is late. That's what we have to do. We're going to deal with it. Like you contrast that with UCLA's coach Cronin. Mm-hmm. I mean, he can't stop bitching about the travel and the schedule. And your players hear that. Like they come to recognize a built-in excuse, and McCollum's not having any of that. Iowa State hosting Baylor Saturday, which sounds like a better game than it is because we're used to Baylor being good at men's basketball, but I don't know what the line is on this. Do you, AD?
It's not out yet, but it's going to be 15, right around there.
Yeah, I mean, Iowa State should cruise in this game by 20 or so points. But that's
a bummer
one more
if they
thing
didn't. That would ruin the Super Bowl for some people. It'd be a hangover.
It would.
There.
I think they'll be okay. Now, here on Murph and Andy, it's time to find out what's bugging you.
Hi, I'm Tom Coates. If what's bugging you is your credit card debt, please call us at Consumer Credit of Des Moines. Since 1987, we've helped over 100,000 people, and we can help you.
Hey guys, it's AD, your producer. What's bugging me this week is Super Bowl squares. It seems like everyone and their brother has a fundraiser, or the guys in your fantasy league want to do it. Just stop. First of all, it's confusing as hell. I have no idea if I won or not, or how to keep track of that during the game. And I admit part of that is my fault for not Googling it, but I've got better things to Google. But mostly it's because we don't need fake gambling anymore. We have real gambling. In 1987, it was fun to put $10 on a square and hope you won something, but now you can put $10 on literally anything in the game. How many catches will Rashid Shaheed have? What color Gatorade will they dump on the winning coach? Will Cardi B show her tits during the halftime show? You can bet on all of that and more. It's 2026. We don't need to make up ways to gamble on the Super Bowl. Let's pretend to be a civilized society and end Super Bowl squares.
I don't know. There are some people that live for those.
They do. People, and it's just all over my Facebook. Hey, our little
you understand,
team.
You could ask for a couple of minutes on the show. You don't have to call speakpipe.com/Murph_Andy.
But then I get to, have fun with it and put pictures like me Googling Keith Murphy with a full head of hair.
Oh, jeez. Well, that was great. You have to go way, way back for that. Experience the service you deserve. Since 1993, Cellular Advantage prides itself on being the locally owned alternative for wireless services, proud partner of U.S. Cellular, and now T-Mobile.
I was talking to our friend Kevin the other day, and he was saying that getting a new phone had ruined his life.
Ruined his life?
Yeah, he was probably there was a bit of hyperbole there, but it sucks. It's a pain.
It takes you a while.
It does, yeah. I mean, it's like relearning. It's like all of a sudden you're right-handed, and all of a sudden you have to do everything left-handed. Cellular Advantage and those guys over there help take a lot of the sting away. They're just good at explaining things. They're good at transferring over to your new phone, and they make it easier. That's why we like them, the customer service.
All right, Andy, you and I and the people at WHO 13 recently had our performance evaluations from our boss. So here are some quotes from actual performance evaluations, not ours. These are not from where we work, but these are all real performance evaluations. Tell me what you think of some of these and which one you really enjoy. Since my last report, this employee has reached rock bottom and shows signs of starting to dig. His men would follow him anywhere, but only out of morbid curiosity. I would not allow this employee to breed.
Wow.
This associate is really not so much of a has-been, but definitely a won't be. He would be out of his depth in a parking lot puddle. This young lady has delusions of adequacy.
This is the boss writing?
Yeah, these are actual employee evaluations. This employee should go far, and the sooner the better.
Jeez.
This employee is depriving a village somewhere of an idiot. And he sets low personal standards and then consistently fails to achieve them. Dang.
You know, there are some companies where they have boss evaluations.
Ooh.
How does that sound? I think it sounds
like an
fair.
Exit interview, but before the exit.
Yeah. It's confidential. They bring him in and they say, what do you think of your manager? What is your manager doing well or not well? And then they get to unload on it, or they get to, really, that, I think it makes sense.
It does make some sense, but it would have to be approved by managers. So you're probably not going to see a lot of that.
Well, the managers would have to then do something about the boss, but I don't know. I mean, if you're trying to figure out why your company isn't working well, isn't part of the problem potentially the bosses or the managers, the branch managers, the under managers? Isn't that potentially a part of the problem? Absolutely.
I get it. I'm a manager. I get what you're hinting at here. Let's get to throwdowns.
No, I'm not hinting at that.
Throwdowns. It's Throwdowns. Backed by Heartland Tire and Auto.
Heartland Tire and Auto, an authorized dealer of both Firestone and Bridgestone tires. All right, Murph, we'll start with you. George Niang. Yeah, let's get this here. George Niang got traded this week to Memphis, and if he comes back from injury and plays in a game, it'll be the 6th NBA uniform he has worn, along with Indiana, Utah, Philadelphia, Cleveland, and Atlanta. Assume that the money and the stats are the same. You can even think of a different sport if you want, but would you rather be a role player that moves around every couple of seasons or one that stays with one team your entire career?
Definitely stays with one team. I suppose there's some city that I would want out of, but having just moved recently, moving is rough, even for a single guy like George.
He probably isn't carrying boxes himself.
No, he's probably not, and probably has somebody to pack him up, and it's probably not the same as home ownership and moving. And a lot of these guys had, like Tom Brady did, you have the high-end luxury condo you stay in during the season, and then you have your home in some other state. So I get all of that, but having said that, just for many different reasons, including just the bond with the community, like the Jim Kelly in Buffalo now, and he didn't want to play for that organization when he started, but just all those years, it's become home for him. I would pick that every time.
Every time except with the exception of the one time where you get traded to the team that's making the deep playoff run and you get to be a part of that, and maybe you weren't a part of that with your old team. That gives you that opportunity. I think that's your one exception. That would be fun. Otherwise, I agree with Murph completely. I would rather stay with one team.
I think it'd be fun to kind of live in different cities, especially as a rich young person, to experience like what different franchises are like, different coaches, different teammates. I mean, George Niang is going to have a trophy room, whether or not he wins a trophy, where he's going to have like 8 NBA jerseys that he legitimately wore in games. That's true.
I don't know. Cool. I mean, would you want to be just perpetually the new guy at work?
That'd probably be a little tough.
I don't think you want to do that where like stuff just, I know you're doing the same job essentially, but it doesn't ever, operate exactly the same way. It seems like you would constantly be learning, having to relearn things.
AD, when you got fired at KXNO and then rehired a few days later, did you consider yourself the new guy when you came back in? And did you get your previous year's experience grandfathered into your new hire?
I did, although I didn't get paid for the week I was out. And I didn't feel like the new guy because they hadn't boxed up my office yet, as they told me they were going to do. So when I got back to work, my office
because you didn't have time to go do it yourself, right?
They wouldn't let me. Yeah, no, they
you were escorted out of the building.
They escorted me out of the building. Yeah, they said we'll box up your stuff and send it to you.
And then the guy that did that to you, he had to box up his stuff.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. You can love the company, but it might not love you back.
You know, I've forgotten that guy's name, and I don't want to be reminded of what it is. That's one of those things I'm glad my brain is clear of.
I will say, when I first thought of this question, my thought was Niang or like Nick Collison, because Nick Collison was just a role player, but
they love him in Oklahoma City.
Yeah, and they retired his jersey, right? He played though like twice as many games already as Niang has so far. So Niang may get there, but that wasn't quite the apt comparison I thought it was. Off the top of my head. All right,
Collison considers his sorry to interrupt, but Collison considers his career high being co-hosting Sound Off with Andy.
That's right.
It's a fact.
That's as much camera time as he's ever gotten.
He was hit in the head right before he was asked that question.
Andy, you're headed to a Super Bowl party. It's a potluck. What are you bringing?
Well, I am bringing some stuff. I'm getting ready to make some stuff. I'm going to make
number one pick. What's the one thing you?
The one thing I want to make. Well, chicken wings, because Eddie is a wing nut. But I'm making this. I'm making this great dip that's called chili shit. It was
that sounds good.
Taught to me by Uncle Marty, and it is amazing.
I'll bet it's so delicious.
Good. It's so good, and it's cheap. It's like cheap. It's so good.
I'll bet it keeps on giving.
Food-wise that they call shit has to taste good.
You know that it was made by someone who was high when they were inventing it.
No doubt.
Because it's like just munchy food. It's really, I'm making that. That's really good. It's not healthy.
Let me ask the obvious question here. I mean, am I with Jenny? Is she allowed to prepare something for me?
You have to bring the thing, but it doesn't have to be a homemade.
I mean,
you can do chips and dip.
Is bringing a bag of chips.
If I'm going, I'm going back long decades now to when I would come up to a Super Bowl party. I'm burying the host in various chips, many different bags, couple of dips, and of course I'm bringing beer too. But yeah, that's what I'm doing. I am not trying to, and I'm not buying that vegetable tray that just rots the entire day.
Every party needs that guy.
That's Kaala's favorite veg. She loves the veggie tray, and doesn't it make us all feel a little bit better about the Super Bowl party if you're eating a little bit out of the
not at
veggie
the end
tray?
of the night when you see everything just empty except that vegetable tray looks like no one has touched it unless you're at a party with Kahala.
What's the last thing that goes?
The vegetable tray.
On that tray, the cauliflower.
The white cauliflower.
Yeah, because it like breaks apart in your mouth into little pieces.
Yeah. And it's just so bland. Yeah, that's got to be deep fried with some firecracker sauce.
Just another delivery device for that dip, baby.
Scott School, the Stupid Quickie poll, and more next. It's Friday. Murph and Andy on Iowa Everywhere.
This game is once in a century. Be there at Casey Center on February 12th. Go to HarlemGlobetrotters.com for your tickets to the 100-year tour.
Sticks. The Hits. May 21st, Lawrence Amphitheater. One night only. Sticks. With special guest, Cheap Trick. Tickets on sale this Friday at 10 a.m. at Ticketmaster. Sticks. With special guest, Cheap Trick. Part of the Willis Summer Concert Series.
Yeah.
The Murph and Andy Show is brought to you in part by Ramsey Subaru, home of the toughest, most reliable cars in the world and the people who back them up, on Hickman Road in Urbandale.
Scott School, Scott School, Scott School is cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, everybody.
Yeah, hey, Scott.
Welcome to Scott School. Now, our names
Hang
are...
on, Scott. It seems like I always have some kind of problem. Are you actually on your microphone?
No, he's not.
Yeah, he's in Mr. Movie Studio, I think.
What? No, I am.
You sound like you're coming through your computer.
Mic, yeah.
And by the way, this is how
okay.
you sounded yesterday on Overthinking.
No, I know what happened last time on Overthinking. It was because I was too far away from the microphone. And
Well, that ain't the
Were you
case
10
today.
feet away?
Watch that. No, I knew I was going to yell a lot too, but I already edited.
That microphone looks like a stuffed animal.
Oh, I got it. Boom. Here we are.
There you
There it is. See, I was right.
Nice.
You were so right. It was coming through my ears, but not through my microphone. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Scott School. Our names
Completely different.
Thank you. Our names are so important to who we are, what our identities are, and yet most of us have no idea what our last name means. And your last name will most likely come from 6 different categories. Occupational, like Miller, Baker, Fisher. Your connection to your father, like John's son, MacDonald, Mac meaning son. Locational, like Hill, Wood, Rivers. A description or a nickname like Short, Long, Black, White, Armstrong. Your societal rank, like a king, earl, or freeman. Your ethnicity, like or clan, Scott, Welsh, Fleming. And so I thought, that's pretty cool. But let's now look at what Andrew Downs' name comes from. It comes from a location. It's somebody who lived near or on the downs, which were known as open, grassy hills. Fales is a descriptive or a nickname. It comes from Old German, not for sucking at everything, but for being pale or lightly colored.
That should be me.
That is bullshit. That
Murphy
is not true.
comes from a connection to the father, from the Irish of a descendant of a sea warrior or a battle chief. And Sipker,
That sounds right.
The cur is a son, and that the sip comes from the son of victory by the sword. Isn't that Scott School?
Scott School, Scott School, Scott School is cool. Yeah.
Scott School presented by Carbless Premium Handcrafted Cocktails. And Scott, you had the honor, speaking of Carbless Premium Handcrafted Cocktails, of doing the 1500th show
You damn right.
on Iowa Everywhere. Most
my microphone
podcasting
wasn't
networks
turned up
don't make
loud
it to
enough.
1500. Yeah, I'm not even sure you were on your microphone, and I think you demonstrated why right at the start of this show today. You probably thought you were because you had this headset deal. But
Nope.
anyway,
I've edited it in Premiere, and I know it was just low volume. Okay, Murph? Jesus.
I don't know. How did you make the most of that honor?
No, I don't think so. Mackenzie was sick.
sounded like she was dying. I felt bad for her.
Cade
listening.
didn't even come on the camera because his light wasn't charged. And he looked like a guy who was standing, when he did show up on camera, he looked like a guy who was standing around a burn barrel trying to keep his hands warm. And I had microphone issues. So, no, I think we fumbled it.
Man, this is more anticlimactic than the Wisconsin State track meet.
Sounds like I should go get a 6-pack and watch this. Stupid quickie poll here on Murph and Andy.
When at home, how often do you wash your hands after peeing if you don't get pee on your hands? Always, sometimes, rarely, or never.
I am 100% sure that this came to your head a couple of weeks ago when I got busted hurrying back to my seat after the toilet flush, and many people said, no way he washed his hands. And they were right. Show first, cleanliness second.
The show must go on, and you went viral for that, so good job.
Yeah,
Went
what
viral
a proud
for
moment.
a number of
It's
reasons.
the first time I'm glad my parents aren't here.
I am 100% sometimes.
Yeah, I'm
Really?
rarely.
Yeah,
Rarely.
Yeah.
If you don't pee on your hands, you're washing your hands.
I just don't. I mean, honestly, I don't pee on my hands.
No,
I
that would take you would have to do that on purpose.
But isn't the concern the germs in that area too? Just the cleanliness of
Your
that
penis
general
is probably the
crotch
cleanest
area?
part of your body.
I know. It
Unless
well,
you're
thank
Bill
you.
Gates.
Jeez.
Jeez, yeah. Let's not joke about the Epstein files, please. Andrew, where was I? You don't go in there in the. I don't go into the bathroom and just like touch all over the counters. I mean, I walk in, the door's already open. I don't touch the door. I unzip my pants. I maneuver myself over the toilet. I finish, zip up, and leave. That does not necessarily necessitate a hand washing.
You don't need to wash your hands after you touch your penis. You don't.
It's just a little odd doing that and then going to shake somebody's hand. or even more odd when they shake your hand. And you're like,
Let me think of the last thing I was
just
shaking.
shook your penis. Yeah. You don't want to say that.
Now, if you're shaking too vigorously and the dribbles get flown up into the air and then they fall onto your hand, okay, I get it.
Your hand is a little warm and dry. I suspect I just shook your penis.
Not for this
Shake.
shake, but the other shake. You a left hand or right hand? I'm a left hand shaker.
I have to use both hands.
Whatever.
Walked into that one, Murph.
I did. Should have kept his mic down. I shouldn't have said anything.
Hey, can we have a Confluence, please?
Yeah, Confluence is the official beer of Murph and Andy. I don't have a.
I got one right here. Look at this. I made a little cooler. This is something that maybe people don't realize. If you're going to have a Confluence, you want to keep it waiting, like a really good way to cool down a beer. Get one of these big insulated mugs. Look at that. You put your beer, even a tall boy, put your beer in there and then fill it up with crushed ice from your refrigerator door. It's so well insulated that cools it down really quick. Look at that.
Wow.
And then you
Okay.
just pull that baby out of there.
I just have this, but Confluence is where good things come together. Andy, what are you drinking today?
I still got my favorite Oktoberfest. I hope it doesn't leave the shelf. This is my favorite one.
It's not limited to a certain month.
I don't think
I mean, you can drink it year round. You can drink it anytime. Scott,
That's
what are you
perfect.
drinking?
I forgot to bring. I don't have a carbless, but I would have a carbless.
Which flavor do you like? I like the cranberry.
You got a Bebsy?
I haven't had one that I hate. I like the watermelon if they got it. The grape is pretty good. I like them all. That's the thing about those carbless. They're tasty.
Justin Cernsey was complaining. Well, as much as Justin, he doesn't really complain, but he was talking about how. Hi, I would love one. Thank you,
Jenny. Will you bring me
God,
one?
here. She's watching the show. That's
Wow.
great. So Justin was saying his biggest difficulty in being in Italy is they don't have Diet Mountain Dew. And that's how I first started drinking coffee when we were in Italy, because I couldn't find Diet Pepsi or energy drinks or any of that. So I started with the little training wheels. And eventually now I drink coffee every morning, and I'm off all that stuff in the mornings.
Yeah, Justin doesn't drink coffee. Can you imagine doing the job?
No,
without
he drinks
coffee?
Diet Mountain Dew, and I
way
kind of felt
worse
bad
for you.
for him. But there were people. Some of them weren't even like polite or kind about it, just like crushing him and lecturing him on how awful Diet Mountain Dew is for him. But I jumped in there at one point and said, there are worse vices, which, then I'm getting piled on
not really
too.
the
But
point, though.
But like Diet Mountain Dew, if that's the height of his sins,
Did he
and
say
it probably is.
The worst
It's not
thing
a
I
sin.
do-
It's just so unhealthy.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
terrible.
okay.
Honestly, I think
Bad
Diet
habit.
Mountain Dew sucks. So it is like Mountain Dew. Back when I drank sugared soda, Mountain Dew is good.
Mountain
I
Dew is
love
good.
Dew.
Diet Mountain Dew, they never got to where they could
No.
match it really
No.
well. It
No, it's
does.
not like Diet
it has
Pepsi.
a bad aftertaste to me.
Diet Pepsi doesn't. It doesn't taste maybe all that much like Pepsi, but it's good on its own, just by its own volition.
It sure is.
But Diet Mountain Dew, they just have never. It just doesn't hit, right? I mean, they just never really found it. I don't understand how people like it, but every morning or every day that I come to work, there's one can of empty Diet Mountain Dew.
There's really
in the
very few things that you could start your day off that is worse for you than a soda or like a sugary energy drink. I mean, drink black
I did
coffee.
it for a long time.
It's so bad.
How about a big old shot of heroin? Oh, look at that. It's got the glass and everything.
That's really good.
Jeez, Jenny just...
Thank you, Jenny.
That's how you should start your
49ers
day off.
jersey is an interesting choice today. She had to wear a sport thing to work.
Maybe she
A
had to wear
sport
something
thing.
historical, like the gold
Hey,
diggers.
before we move on here, people in the comments, and there's so many people over in the comments today. First, please hit that like button if you would. If you haven't subscribed, please do that. But I do have a question for you. Do you think we're doing too much of a deep dive on the Super Bowl? If you feel like we're getting into the X's and O's too much, let us know. Like, I know the game is 2 days away, so we're all really excited. But let us know, like, hey, a little bit too much inside sports. Let's have some fun. Just let us know what you think, because we do take feedback. Let's get some more.
But wait, there's more from Either Or Eatery and Patio.
Oh, man. The weather getting warmer. I would not be surprised if the patio is open this evening over at Either Or Eatery and Patio. They have those fire pits out there and heaters and stuff. I'll bet you there's some people that want to sit outside. We're
And gonna be in
Iowans
the,
in the winter.
60s on Monday?
On Monday. Not until Monday. It's going to be kind of in the upper 30s, 40s on the weekend. But inside or outside, Either Or Eatery and Patio. One of Des Moines' favorite restaurants, and that happened fast. In Des Moines, excuse me.
Did you burp?
Yeah, but I turned off the microphone.
Oh, good.
Like a pro. Yeah,
Like a
but no, it's better when I burp into the microphone, I think. I like that. In Des Moines, I'm an old building nerd. You guys know that. Like old homes and buildings, I'm always interested. Like, what's the story there? One place I've always wondered about is the Butler Mansion on Grand Avenue. This huge home, and it was chopped up and turned into dorms for Des Moines University. But it is back to being just a house, and it is for sale on Grand Avenue now. And this has a story.
It's a cool house.
Yeah, built in 1920 by the, incidentally, by the Butler family. What a coincidence.
Where do you think they got their last name from?
That's somebody was into butts, right?
You got it.
Yeah.
Thanks for paying attention to Scott School.
Yeah.
Andrew, just such an easy laugh. He's the Ed McMahon of this show. He's in the butts.
Oh, come on, man. There was some wit to that. 4,500 square feet. It has seven bedrooms, and each bedroom has its own bathroom, which, of course, it's that way. It was a dorm for Des Moines University, but that's a lot of bathrooms.
Those were added.
Back to being a regular house on the market for $1.5 million. Kind of cool. There you go. That's the Butler Mansion. Those cool old houses always have names like that. Cold snap in Florida this week. My mom was complaining about that. It got below freezing. There was frost on her grass. She couldn't believe it. It did have one upside in Florida where iguanas are so invasive and just awful. It killed or shocked tens of thousands of invasive iguanas. They were just dropping out of the trees. They're up in the trees.
I know this, and I know they're a problem down there. There's too many of them, so they don't want these coming back to life. They want to rid the state of many iguanas.
All the iguanas. None of them are supposed to be there.
They don't really have a purpose, I guess, but that
no.
I feel bad for these guys just dropping out.
They
like
shouldn't be
popsicles.
there.
No, not me, man. No, they need to price on all their heads. Off with their heads. Trappers brought in thousands of them. One man had so many he covered his body in the cold, stunned iguanas. What? Look at this.
Oh my God.
Why y'all being so loud, bro? I'm trying to sleep.
Yeah, if you had to guess, this is Florida. This influencer has a blanket of cold, stunned iguanas on him. Yikes. All of the iguanas are alive with the cold snap, just basically freezing them in place. But once it warms up, they will move again. Normally, residents are told to leave the iguanas where they are, but so many are falling from the trees due to this cold snap.
What they want you to do is kill them and throw them in the garbage.
Make a soup out of them.
They compete with native species. They eat native species. They're invasive pests. IKEA, or IKEA, as they say it in Sweden, is not only known for its practical and inexpensive. Did I ever tell you I went to IKEA when we were in Sweden?
Yep, a couple
You
times.
did, yeah. You mentioned it on the show.
We ate there. Ate Swedish
You were
meatballs.
live over there in Sweden.
Yeah. Was that a burp?
It was, but
nice.
I didn't go
Push it
all
out.
in like you.
Let's have some volume.
Better out than in, I always say.
Anyway, it is not only known for its practical and inexpensive furniture, it's also known for its cafeteria. Did you know that?
No.
IKEA has a cafeteria.
I did know they had one. I've seen it, but I didn't know it like it was a big deal.
It is a big deal, and that cafeteria just whipped out a giant schlonger of a hot dog. Look at this thing. They say it's half a meter of a hot dog, and this woman looks very hungry, happy to have this, and people are measuring it to see if it's actually half a meter, and it is coming up a little bit short, although that's clearly plenty.
Like
here.
it was Subway with the foot long. You said foot long.
They got
This is
sued
not a foot.
over that. It should be, right? That's false advertising, but that is more than enough.
This photo is a good example of you should always take the corn dog to the mouth, not the mouth to the corn dog.
Yeah, someone learned that at the Iowa
Michelle
State
Bachman.
Fair.
That was Michelle Bachman. We haven't heard from her since. After winning the biggest prize in the world of dogs, Penny the Doberman is officially retired.
Look how regal
I love
Penny the Doberman looks.
Beautiful dog.
Can a female dog be described as regal? I don't know. That just is
Absolutely.
a very regal dog.
Yeah, she's a beautiful dog. She won Westminster, beat out over 2,500 other dogs across 200 plus breeds. Took a tour of New York City after winning Westminster. Took all these pictures up over the skyline all over the place. Absolutely beautiful Doberman.
Beautiful dog.
Big fan of Dobermans. Is
The
our friend.
dog is Batman. It is Batman.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
I'm not a fan of the docked ears. I like a floppy-eared Doberman.
That's a cropped ear. They dock the tail.
There you go. Okay, there you go. Thank you for teaching me that.
Andy, you were watching so many clips after we were talking about Catherine O'Hara. You were watching so many Best in Show clips the other night. I am going to make a point of watching that this weekend because I was, guys, reminded of how funny it is.
It's so funny.
Man.
Okay, I'm counting 6 kimonos that you're bringing with us. Yeah, we're going to be there 48 hours. Okay, so I need one more then. Oh, that's such a funny movie. In southwestern Oklahoma, a referee ejected an entire side of the gym during a high school basketball game in the town of Frederick.
Good. Entire side.
Somebody was cussing at the ref, getting way too into it. This is toward the end of the game. He's sick of it, and he warns the section. Apparently, this is a referee that has called a number of state tournament games, so he's pretty well respected. He ejected one person and warned the section. And then they continued, so he had a little chat quickly with an administrator, and then ordered everyone out of that section. So for the end of the game, one side has fans, the other side has 0 fans. And of course, the fans are pissed, at the
Oh, yeah.
ref, and they're waiting for him after the game and everything.
Oh, no.
But he stands right up, talks to the news media there, and tells him everything that happened, and is just like, everybody knows this is a standing order. This is the rule. I'm standing by it. I'm not going to take that kind of crap from people. This is a high school basketball game. Toward the end, these people need to behave themselves.
Good.
They need to go. Yeah, absolutely.
We need more of this. I think we need more of this because it's got too often the signs are up there and people know what the rules are, but they ignore them and they berate the officials.
Get your cameras out, everybody.
And
Record
it's
these
kind of
people.
like parenting. If you say, "No, you sit right over there. Don't you move, or you're going to be in big trouble." Then they run, and then you give them another chance. Nothing happens. These people that were tossed they'll think about it next time.
The video's a little bit funny though because there's like elderly people and women with babies that have to file out like down the stairs and stuff and get out. They got to wait for a while for everybody to clear out. But yeah, you just like the whole section. You can't be like, okay, everybody except the people that are not all that mobile need to get out.
I know, and it's not perfect. I mean, like most things, there's not a perfect solution because you are tossing out people who were well behaved and were not causing a problem, and you might even have a fan of the other team mixed in on that side somewhere. So it's not perfect.
No,
but to not try to identify people here, there, try to pick out the people who were really bad. You have to make the point, and it's I don't know. It's kind of like an old parenting thing, or the team. Like one person's out of line, so everybody suffers the consequence.
And I think all the schools have like signs on the walls, and certainly an established rule. It's been there forever that if you don't behave yourself in the stands, you can be asked to leave or ordered to leave. And them's the breaks, right?
That was a good one.
Yeah, that was deep from the diaphragm. Jay Leno was on Adam Carolla's podcast earlier this week. He said, and Adam Carolla, being Adam Carolla, just flat out was like, Jay, it looks like you're losing a little bit of weight there. And just pointing it out. And he has lost a lot of weight. He's lost 51 pounds, as a matter of fact.
It doesn't look like Ozempic face or anything.
Yeah, it according to Jay Leno, it's not. He used to eat an entire package of English muffins with butter every day. Every morning.
An entire package? I mean, I love an English muffin
Who
with
makes
butter.
those English muffins that are so damn good? That box with the cellophane
English something.
over it? Oh man, those are good.
English, I don't know, but they're good. Yeah, I
really
love
good.
those.
Yeah. Well, he would eat the entire
box
every day, and he stopped doing that. And he says he eats. I think he was exaggerating, but he's like, I eat like an entire watermelon every day. He eats a ton of watermelon.
Low calories, high volume.
Mostly water. Yeah, there's not much else to it. He must be eating those in California. I don't like eating watermelon like here in Iowa in the wintertime when they're way out of season. It's like eating sweet corn here. It's like, dude, no.
I know what this is supposed to taste like. My favorite part of that interview that Carolla did with Jay Leno was when he was telling the story of the last time he was with Rodney Dangerfield. Rodney was in a coma. His wife had called Jay to come visit him before he passed, and Rodney's wife tells Jay, put your finger in his hand, and then we'll tell Rodney, okay, Rodney, if you know that somebody's there, this is Jay Leno, squeeze his finger just a little bit, and he did. He squeezed a little bit, and Jay immediately goes, Rodney, that's not my finger, and Rodney like jolts a little bit. And then he passed away shortly after that. But I find that
is
to be
a cruel joke to pull on a man who is.
Rodney Dangerfield would love that. Oh, and he jolted as if he was laughing. His wife's like, he's laughing. It's like a perfect moment for Rodney Dangerfield.
That's like in that Mel Brooks documentary. He talks about the only scene dropped out of Blazing Saddles, and Yeah, wow. And you can see why. Like when Mel Brooks thinks that
It's with
went
the
too far.
sausage and
Yeah, Madeline Kahn.
Madeline Kahn and Sheriff
and
Bart.
Cleavon Little. Yeah, God, Judd Apatow, cut your movies down. Like that's almost 4 hours. It's too much. I didn't need all that. I can't give it my highest recommendation, but go an hour and a half in and start at Blazing Saddles. That's
Well,
the way
yeah,
to
it's
do it.
Judd Apatow, so you knew it was going to be longer than it needed to be. But,
And it was. It's for completist.
You know what the most underrated scene, funny scene for me in Blazing Saddles is when you first meet Gene Wilder. He's in jail, the Waco kid.
Yeah, he's hanging upside down.
Yeah, but he gets up and he's like, Cleavon Little's like, he pulls out this big bottle of whiskey, and Cleavon Little's like, man, you want to have something to eat first? He's like, no, food makes me sick. And then he just pounds like 4 inches of hardcore turpentine bourbon, just throws it down. And he just takes these huge swigs of whiskey. It's just like the little subtleties of why Gene Wilder was so damn funny.
Oh, God. University of Iowa graduate.
Yeah,
As Scott
right.
knows. Yeah, as you both know.
was funny.
But
All right,
he was
rest in
so
peace.
funny. And I was reminded as I was watching this documentary, their friendship and love for each other in that movie is kind of the heart of the movie. It's kind of what makes it all work. They're so good. They're so good together. And they leave in the movie what would normally be an outtake, and it's when Gene Wilder's got his hand over the Sheriff Cleavon Little's shoulder, and he's like, morons.
Yeah,
and it breaks him.
they're
But they
simple
leave
people.
they leave that in they leave that in the movie.
That's a good part of the documentary. They do a deep dive on Blazing Saddles, the making.
I don't need any
Blazing
more on the
Saddles.
Borscht Belt or Sid Caesar or the 2,000-year-old man. I'm exhausted.
Love the part with Carl Reiner though at his house, and Seinfeld goes to visit them, and they just
Yeah, I
have
saw
dinner
that
together
on
every night.
Comedians and cars
really
getting
sweet.
coffee or
Getting coffee.
whatever it's called.
Speaking of food, as we were talking about Jay Leno and his watermelon, every single item on a Super Bowl snack shopping list is more expensive this year than it was last year, except for chicken wings. Those are actually a little cheaper when you buy them wholesale. If you buy them already made from like Wingstop or Buffalo Wild Wings, they're more expensive. That's good news. We go through so many chicken wings. Those are my favorite part of a Super Bowl spread. You guys have already asked me about this, so it kind of blew
Bone-in
wings. Yeah, the actual wings.
Actual
Even your
wings.
chicken nuggets. Yeah, they're just. And I kind of remember when chicken wings like hit the scene. It seemed like when I was a kid. It's like before they were like just the high maintenance part of a chicken. Or
Aren't
a
they called
turkey.
buffalo wings?
Oh yeah.
Well,
They're
buffalo
from
wings because
Buffalo.
of the Buffalo. Yeah, that's kind of where they became.
We don't have a good
delicacy.
football team, but we were able to invent a good food.
With the blue cheese and the celery. Oh, God, I love those. All right, from more contributor Otts Down Under, we bring you this. He wants to make sure, and he does this, he's been doing this since high school, wants to make sure that we Americans, as we're all getting gaga over the Super Bowl and the Olympics, that we remember who the world's best athletes really are. They are Australian rules football players.
Are AFL players the best athletes in the world? Let's break it down. NBA players have amazing athleticism, especially for their height. But I'd like to see how well LeBron would move after running 15 plus kilometres on a field that's 40 times bigger than a basketball court. NFL players are crazy explosive, but the ball's in play for an average of 11 minutes per game. I'd like to see how explosive they are after 80 minutes of play and much less rest. Premier League players may be faster and more agile, but how do you think their physicality and toughness would stand up in a situation like this? Rugby players are stronger and very powerful, but they don't come close to the amount of endurance or skill of AFL players. Or what about a decathlete or a CrossFit athlete? They have to be good at everything physically. Well, try doing all of that, and then now try kicking an oval-shaped ball 50 metres to a moving target. AFL players might not dominate one specific attribute, but if you rated all sports out of 10 across every key physical attribute, try to name a sport that would rank above AFL.
This is so dumb. Are you serious?
This is one of the favorite,
Okay.
I'm telling you, this is one of the favorite discussion topics of any Australian sports fan.
Okay,
They
Please
love
let
to talk
LeBron
about
James
this.
go play your little sport. Let's see what happens when LeBron James trains for your little sport.
Oh,
You're
he
gonna
would be
get
doing.
destroyed.
He would do load management, and wouldn't play in a third of the games.
That guy's 6'8". It's pure muscle.
These guys, they're
You can't
great
flop.
athletes.
You can't flop in the AFL, Scott.
Yeah. Keith doesn't like LeBron.
Yeah, if like Cy fan said, if this is true, then go get paid millions of dollars to play any other sport. Like why are you stuck in Australia?
They're too small.
Making $50,000 a year.
AFL reminds me of the early days of ESPN. Remember the Australian rules football would come on?
I mean, it's crazy to go down there and see. They have gigantic stadiums, huge stadiums, like NFL football stadiums that they sell out for those games down there. And we're just like totally unaware of it here. I mean, unaware that it's going on, don't know how the rules work. We assume it's just rugby.
You know Australia better than I do, Andy. Where are they going to play this 49ers-Rams regular season game next year? Like, where would that be?
Is that in Melbourne?
Melbourne.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Melbourne.
Do they have
I would assume it's at their Australian rules football stadium. Wow. Yeah,
Okay.
I would assume. I can't imagine they're building a new stadium.
God,
for that.
that's
I mean,
a
it's
long
just,
way to go.
You
To
see how
play.
big that field is, though? That thing is huge.
Yeah. So fans won't be near the field. Maybe they'll
Finally,
put in
from
some tents.
BuzzFeed, a list of old stuff that worked better than new stuff. Some of this is kind of inspired. I liked it. Google search 10 years ago, it gave you actual results instead of 3 pages of sponsored ads and AI fluff. Yeah, that is where you got to like scroll down to get to the stuff you're actually looking for. This one, I totally agree with. Physical buttons, knobs, and dials are superior to touchscreen versions.
Yeah.
Especially in cars.
Yes.
Totally.
When you don't want to look down, and now you got to switch.
When you have to
through
go
menu.
through 3 pages on the touchscreen just to turn down the heat, that I think that's you're missing the whole point.
And if you have like Jenny and I have the touch start. It's if you have the old fashioned start and you get in a car, like when we rented a car in Florida and it was a turn key. Like now muscle memory, I've forgotten how to do that. I'm looking for the button all the time.
And you can't, like usually when you get in the car, because I just got a new car and now it has the button start. I've had my entire life the key ignition where you can be flopping into your car. You're not even closed the door yet and you've got that car on. It's started. You got the ignition going and you're going. Now you got to close the door, got to press the thing. And now you're sitting there for like 2 or 3 seconds while it decides to turn on the car.
But locked to your keys in the car is now become like, the answering machine ate the tape type story where people are like, what? Locked your keys in the car?
How did you do that?
How did that even happen? This is a good one. I can attest to this completely. Recipe books over recipe websites. I don't care why the author likes this loaf of bread, what it reminds them of, and I definitely don't want my screen reduced to 2x2 pixels by advert pop-ups. It's so annoying if you are looking up any kind of recipe, bar recipe, cooking, whatever. There'll be like a little option at the top of the recipe that says jump to recipe. Like, and if you don't hit that, you have to scroll through this long story of why this recipe was developed, why it works, and then a million advertisements to finally get to the recipe that takes forever at the bottom. You're like, oh my God.
This is something that AI has made so much better. It will give you the bare bones.
I knew you were going to go to that.
And then if you need a substitute or something, you just quickly tell it, and it'll just adapt it. And it's bare bones, right to the meat of it all. It's wonderful.
How about back when you could call a business and a human answered, and you could actually tell them what you called for, and they helped you? That was great. One-time purchase software. The subscription model is a parasite that makes us rent things that we used to own. Well put.
Yeah. Adobe has got me bent over with my pants down and no Vaseline.
You don't have to spend $250 for this software, but you have to spend $30 a month for the rest of your life.
Yeah. Like, just let me buy something
Yeah.
once. How about that?
Yeah.
That was a great concept. Buy something once. My dad's old laser jet from 2005 still prints instantly every time. My new smart printer requires a firmware update, a Wi-Fi connection, and a subscription to HP Ink just to print a single black and white page. It's infuriating.
It's like when we thought streaming would be so much better than cable. Now it's like, is there any way we can just get everything in one place?
I know it's like it was just going to be this a la carte thing that
Yeah,
you would
I'll pick this, I'll
set
pick
and
that, I'll
forget.
pick-
Nah.
nope.
Fridges from the 90s, those things will outlive the sun. My smart fridge needs a software update just to make ice. Razors, I get a smoother shave and less razor burn with my 1963 Gillette safety razor than their new 15-blade battery-operated monstrosities.
When you guys think of your dad's razor blade, do you both think of the kind you screw the bottom, the top opens
Yeah.
up, and they set the blade on the
No.
thing, and then you close it back down like that, and it's
No, disposable.
single
My dad was
edge each
disposable.
Yeah,
side?
same, like disposable
Yeah.
Bic razor.
Yep.
My
really?
dad, my dad was. Do you know I saw my dad less than clean shaven once.
Really?
It was the day he died.
Oh
Although
my
he grew
gosh.
that stupid mustache in the 70s, he did have that. But I
didn't shave today. I mean, like
I know,
one day
he
off the desk,
never,
I'm like, I'm not shaving.
Never, ever, 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 ever. That was absolutely ingrained. It was like Murph and his floss. It was ingrained in his
go anywhere
routine.
to find floss.
Yeah, he didn't feel like he was always clean shaven. The day he died, he was in the hospital. He was not clean shaven. We were all like, "Damn, Dad, you look."
Same with my
terrible."
dad. My dad had a mustache my entire life until right at the end. And it's like, it's weird that somebody goes out looking so different than they did for their life. Now, we didn't do an open casket. That's another thing. We gotta stop these things. Come on. No more open caskets.
I was telling you about my friend Ken early on Monday, and the irony that I missed. The funniest part was like he's a Chicago cop. He had to start as a traffic officer. He hated traffic. He was always pissed at the Chicago traffic. It was the one thing he hated about Chicago. One of the things he hated about Chicago. But he, and then of course, when he's in an urn, they get to run all the red lights, stop all the traffic, go through it all. That is cruel irony right there.
That is irony.
All right, physical media, e.g. CDs, Blu-rays, much higher quality, actual ownership, easy backups, and ordering at a fast food restaurant. We covered this earlier this week when we were looking back nostalgically, sorrowfully. I don't think that's a word. We were missing the days of the old fast food restaurants that had actual people at the counter.
Yeah.
Those were great. Miss those days. That's your more, everybody.
All right. Nicely done, Andy. Thank you. Yeah, things that I'm the physical media, I did that big purge when we moved, and I miss my CD and DVD collections, but just because it was like kind of books on a shelf that you might never go back and read, but I don't know, there was just some kind of comfort and pride in having them there. I guess it's more like collecting because I didn't watch them anymore. I didn't listen to them anymore. There's no need.
The quality of the digital media has steadily improved. Andy, you
Sure.
can attest to this.
Oh, yeah.
It's steadily improved. It's gotten much better. At first, the MP3s sounded terrible, but they sound a lot better. But yeah, the physical media, but you've only got so much room, right? I mean, I have my record collection. I'm not going to bring up a CD collection and get a CD player again. I'm not going to go that far, even though, Murph, like you, I've got thousands of CDs and boxes in the basement that I cannot part with.
I feel
You still have VHS tapes.
Yeah, I have a few. Well, I got to get them duped. I got to go over there to I don't go to put it on video. Go to the
Archive,
one over on
Iowa?
Douglas. Yeah, there's one over on Douglas. That's a good
You
one,
don't
too.
have to dupe it because I have your VCR set up at the station.
Yeah, that's
You
right.
Just bring
you
them
haven't
in.
given me that. You didn't give me that back yet. Are you done with that thing yet? What's up? You're just gonna keep it? Remember when that guy kept your bike that you let him borrow, and you're all pissed about that for so long? Aren't you doing that to me now?
He was an intern. He went to Simpson, and
I love this story.
Yeah, and it is cold out, and the guy is walking to his internship each day, like 2 or 3 miles in the winter. And I was like,
lived over by Drake.
Yeah. And I felt really bad. So I said, it was a nice Trek bike.
Don't name him.
Well,
didn't Jake go to Simpson? Is it
It's
Jake
not
Brand?
Jake.
Yeah.
It's not
Okay.
Jake. It's not Drake.
Yeah, so I felt bad. He's really nice, and he worked hard. So it's like,
Sounds like Jake.
take my bike and, use it. And then his intern finished and didn't get the bike back. And I'm not as direct as Jenny. She would have asked him the second day as soon as the internship ended.
When are we going to get that bike back?
Yeah, I let at least months go by, and finally
you said it
him.
passive aggressively. You said something like,
It's summer now.
I was thinking about riding my bike today, and then I remembered I don't have a bike. Do you still have that bike?
Exactly. That's kind of the conversation. And he said, yeah, it got stolen a long time ago. I didn't know how to tell you.
What?
So I didn't. So the bike got stolen.
There was one night where
I don't believe this at all. He kept your bike. He's still riding your bike.
No. He's a good guy. He wouldn't do that.
He's a really good guy. He called me.
He's an attorney now.
Oh,
okay.
Oh, we definitely
well,
could
maybe he can
trust
get
him
you a
then.
bike. Yeah, give you a bike now. Buy you a bike. There was one night where he called me. I was at the station, and he was like, "Yeah, can you give me a jump? My car is dead." And I was like, "Yeah, sure." I was like, "Where are you?"
Wait, his car?
He had a car. Yeah.
What?
Well, I think this is before he got your bike, but yeah, he had a car. Yeah, or it was before or after. I mean, obviously the bike didn't work out, so he had to go to something else after that. I don't think he kept borrowing bikes after that. He learned his lesson. But he had this car. Well, clearly the car was not a great alternative because it didn't work either. But I went over there, and his apartment was on University over in the Drake neighborhood, and he was parked on University, and there was all this snow outside, and so I get out. I maneuver my car around. Okay, so I'm facing the wrong way. I got the cables out. I got my hood up. I hook it up to my battery. I'm all set. I get his hood popped, and I go in there, and there's no battery. There was no battery. And I was like,
"This is going to be challenging."
Where? What? No shit. The battery doesn't work. There isn't a battery. So, somebody took his battery.
He's got to call Murph to borrow battery now.
I mean, it was like, well, I was like, well, dude, I don't really know what to do, man, because it's like 11 o'clock at night and the AutoZone is closed.
Yeah. It's coming back to me
I don't
now.
know what
The
he did.
car, that's when the car is done because it's winter. So the car doesn't work anymore for various reasons, including no battery. So he starts that's a long walk in winter.
Yeah,
to the station.
from like
It's a long walk.
25th Street and University. Yeah.
So he comes in like, half frozen several
Yeah.
times. I'm like, what's going on? He's like, well, I have to walk. My car didn't work
But he didn't
anymore.
complain. He just kept going. Yeah,
I know.
And he had like dress shoes on and stuff. And he didn't like boots.
Fales,
I know.
did he think that you were going to be able to jump it though? Did he?
He didn't know
he
anything
didn't
about his
know the
car. He hadn't
battery
even
was
popped his
gone.
hood yet. He didn't know that there was no battery. And I was like,
And
what?
It didn't work after that. Yeah, next car was called a Trek. And that was
Oh, it was a Trek? Those are nice bikes, man.
Yeah, it was a nice bike.
Yeah.
It's the nicest bike I've ever had.
But I was like, what? I was like, what? Did you?
It's like $1,000 bike.
Well, he was trying to start the car and it like wasn't turning over at all. I was like, well, no shit. You don't have a battery. You have no batteries. I was like, when was the last time you had a battery? He was like, oh, just a couple of days ago. I was like, well, dude, somebody, I don't know how they did it. It's in the Drake neighborhood, so it's possible, but they opened his hood and took his battery.
I'm going to see if I have his name in contacts. I do.
Hey, man, we were telling these really embarrassing stories about you on the podcast today. You want to listen? Don't do that.
I thought maybe he could join us.
Oh, jeez. No.
Maybe not.
I want to know what area of the law he's in.
Well, we can
That'd be
ask
a really passive-aggressive way to remind him that he owes you a bike.
He can afford it. He's an attorney.
Well, maybe. I don't know. Sometimes
Maybe.
attorneys,
There's a lot of attorneys.
Yeah, sometimes they work at pro bono all the time. It was so funny. It was just like, we've had some interns that like, God bless them because they're doing an internship. They're not getting paid any money. They're putting in the work like they're supposed to.
A lot of them work hard.
But man, they just didn't have anything. And we can remember being in those positions where you just didn't have shit. But I mean, these guys like, jeez, we had a few guys, man. I mean, we would go over to the iCubs game, and they would eat like a stray dog up in the media buffet. It was like the first time they'd eaten that week.
Right.
Like, half thinking about eating that cardboard box to get the rest of the pizza grease out of the bottom.
Remember.
Oh, man. And you're just like, yeah, I can remember being in that stage of life. Thank God I'm not in it anymore.
That would be that's kind of what the pay was.
There was one
occasionally
guy.
Get some food.
There was a guy that worked at Channel 5. I won't name him. He was not even an intern. He was like the number 3 sports guy there. There was one night, Telly laughed his ass off about this. Probably still.
Telly had a good laugh too. It was like
he did.
Deep
laughing really hard. This dude one night, he didn't have any money and like they didn't have anything left. All he ate was croutons and ranch dressing for dinner. He got a bowl of croutons, put ranch dressing all over him, and ate that.
That's a step away from ketchup and hot water and calling it tomato soup.
That's a step away from fishing the hot dog out of the trash can.
I was just going to say, the cop man just going into the garbage.
That was for you, Bryce. He'd have chimed right in with that. Oh, God.
Oh, he would have.
He would tell that story, look over at Bryce's face.
We had an intern. Andy will remember this. Gosh, I realize we have to end here soon, so I'll make this the last story. But we had an intern that had such chronic halitosis.
Oh.
He had such bad breath that I created this fake tradition that I'd be like, hey, blank, we always start every day with an
Altoid. With an Altoid.
Or an Altoid, whatever I had.
Such a Murph move.
And then, like, Andy would grab one. That's good.
We set the tin right up on the right up on the shelf, like front and center, so there was no way anybody could forget.
Man, this is good. This gets us. I mean, this is how we get going.
Hey, it worked.
And he would always grab one because you want to be part of the team. I said, take another one. It's okay to take more than one.
Go ahead,
get in there.
Get in that edit bay with him, and he'd be like,
"Oh, yeah." The microphone would.
Okay, let me show you how to edit this video. It was so stinky.
It was awful. It was like you'd be crying.
No, God, it was so.
That
it was
KXNO microphone that Keith had to sit behind for all those years.
Oh, that was Simon. Simon breathing into that.
It was like a coffee cigarettes combination.
And it was just rough. Gunk. I mean, all that saliva had just gunked itself into the grooves.
There was a brown spot in the middle of the microphone. It looked like an 11-year-old's underwear.
You know what that brown spot looked like, Murph?
What?
What does the bathroom look like right now? Look like that urinal pad going on in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Time for the Andrew Downs audio drop of the day. We call it the AD squared.
Yeah, powered by Game Day Men's Health. Ankeny, West Des Moines, North Liberty, wherever you are, there's a game day near you. It is Friday. Is it still Friday? It's still Friday. Man. It is Friday, so some parental advisory is necessary. None of these bleeps are necessary. It's all innocent conversation.
AD.
Oh,
we haven't even talked about the Super Bowl yet.
Got people saying happy hour is about to start. That's not till 6:30.
I've placed bleeps to make you hear things that aren't actually being said.
Super Bowl and Olympics.
What you hear is on you, not us. It's This Week in Iowa. Unnecessary censorship.
It's Groundhog Day, and that little better be wrong. We don't need 6 more weeks of winter this year.
Habits that low-key gross others out. Letting their dogs them in the mouth. God, that's gross.
Try this. Dip your in just plain sour cream.
I have a thing about white substances.
Well, what's bugging Andy? Just you up some of these old performers Sunday night. That us up too, but that's what you have to do.
I just took Nori to the park this morning, and it's true what they say, what you see on the news about iguanas.
I'm picking the mockumentary Dog. She is
best in show.
Best in show. I'm sorry, not dog. Best in show. It's about dog.
The ukulele bat. I think you should bring it to the.
Oh, and I could
audience
just play there the whole time.
That's
my. My. Yeah.
No. I don't know.
AD.
Oh man, that was a good one.
Wow.
Yeah,
Really
good one, AD. AD, do we need to write a note to anyone at AKC Marketing? Are you okay?
I guess I'll find out when I get back.
Yeah, 254.
Yeah, sorry. Got a little carried away. We were at the end, and then I don't remember what reminded me of my bike. What even
that did
started
take us
that?
off on a tangent, didn't it?
Oh my gosh! Quickie poll results from WCI Pools and Spas.
Do you have to be born in Iowa to be an Iowan? 72% say no.
What do you think, Scott?
No. And Andy, you are absolutely an Iowan. You got to change the narrative in your head. You are holding on to the past, man.
Well, I'm not saying I want to be one thing or another. I just don't. I don't feel like I'm truly a part of the club.
Yeah, it feels like wherever you grew up is like where you're from.
Yeah, like you grew up, like when I don't know. I mean, I just don't. Yeah, I don't feel like a part of the club. When at home, how often do you wash your hands after peeing? If you don't get pee on your hands,
Look at this split.
Always. It says 36%.
Those people need to check themselves into an insane asylum.
Very hygienic audience.
I bet your hands are cracked, dry.
Well, that's
if you always wash your hands.
Yeah.
All
Maybe
right.
Scott, try an Altoid.
31% said sometimes, and everybody else said the other one. Okay. Rarely says 23%, and 11% say never. That's Andrew's way of saying, hurry up.
Yeah, that is. The Iowa Everywhere Party is coming up February 27th at the Irish at West Glen.
So what, 3 weeks from today?
That's 3 weeks from today. Yeah. We have a lot to offer. Drink specials, photo booth, Grimaldi's Pizza.
Merch table.
Merch table. We'll have a lot there for on location purchases.
Hassel will be there.
Hassel will
You can
be there.
grope
I
him.
think Williams and Hassel's dads will both be there. And a new development, Williams and Hassel's dads will be joining Jenny and I on Happy Hour Live from the Irish. So we're going to have the opportunity to interview those two.
Oh, I want to give you
Do you
some
think that's
questions.
good or
We got
dangerous?
4 microphones, or are they going to have to share one?
I don't know Williams's dad. I know Don Hassel very well.
He does not like me.
Do you think this show,
Spocker,
do you think they'll
Spocker.
be entertaining? We
Yes.
got to get 4 mics for that. We got to make it happen.
I don't think we have.
Or
4
Jenny
mics.
might want to just leave.
We have
at
4.
that
We
point.
do 4 mics every time we go on location.
Yeah, shut up, Scott.
Where you been?
Yeah, where you been?
Should we just try to take it all the way to 3, just so we can say we did it? Hassel's mom is going to be there.
Here's the thing.
Whoa.
Oh no.
Honestly, I don't think it'll be that entertaining because these guys they talk junk to each other on social media, right? They're keyboard warriors. They've got a lot to say. They're going to get together. They're not going to want to talk shit to each other in front of everybody else. It's gonna be, hey, oh, you know what? We can bury the hatchet. You're kind of a nice guy. Yeah, you too.
I think it's real, though. I think the back and forth is real.
Well,
On
let's
social media it is, but they've never been in person.
Let's establish this, though. This is an absolute truth here. The most entertaining thing about both of those dads is Chris and Chris's descriptions of them. I mean, really. I mean, the way they describe them, the stories they tell, the way they tell the story. That's more interesting than the men themselves. I'm sure, because those stories they're just so funny. Like Chris Hassel has made like almost like a
Bigfoot figure,
a study out of his dad's eccentricities. I mean,
Yeah. What's interesting to me is when Chris first joined us at WHO 13, and I remember you vividly, Andy, saying, "Was this guy raised by wolves in the forest? Like what? How can he be this naive and unaware?" And then, I don't know, within a year or two, we got to know Don, and you're like, man, that makes sense.
Yeah, the first time I went to Muscatine and went to Don's house, I was like, okay,
all
of this is making sense to me. But no, he's a really sweet guy, and
I don't know. He hates me.
So proud of
do I
his
have
son.
to hate him?
But he doesn't really. He's one of those guys that is a total dick via text and on social media.
When I met him last year at this party, he was a jerk to me.
Oh yeah, well, that's because he was under the weather.
He was sick, and Scott,
just keep giving him up.
He was unwell and
I'm hateable.
He was overly descriptive about his current affliction.
Yeah,
Can we put
really
it that way?
was.
He
I offered him a mint.
Way too well. The mint needed to go on the other end.
This is a funny comment. Sci-Fan DD says all the interns Keith has ever had, who he's offered a mint to, are wondering if it's them.
Was it.
Yeah.
He offered me a mint. Wonder if that was me.
This was pretty obvious.
Pretty obvious. All right. Thank you for making Murph and Andy part of your Friday. We had a good time. We hope you did too. We really appreciate you joining us.
Hope we didn't
happy
talk
hour
too much
tonight.
Super Bowl.
Yeah, I hope that wasn't too much Super Bowl. Happy hour tonight at 6:30. Join us if you can. Opening ceremony starts at 7. Again, please like, review, and subscribe on whatever platform you found us. We did make it past 2 hours. AD will send a note back with you to work. We're back Monday, and we hope you are too.